Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? My strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
What is up, everybody? Hello, welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream. I am super excited. We're gonna have some volatility, I expect. It's actually, as a matter of fact, it's already going on. So I'm super hyped. I literally just came back home, so just an hour or so, and I thought, you know what, we're gonna have volatility. Why not just put on a stream and just observe the price action together? So I haven't really spent too much time on the charts today yet. So I'm gonna take you through the charts, and we're gonna observe the live price action, and kind of a little bit of an improvisation kind of thing. I actually just threw in $1,000 into a small account. And if we do see a trading opportunity, who knows, I might actually take a trade live on stream. So gonna be super excited. You know, I'm hyped. It's pretty improvised, but let's just go. I'm super excited. So let me just remove that for a second on the screen. First of all, big stuff coming, I think. So in about 13 minutes, we're gonna have I would say a really big volatility spike, because that is when the cameras go on for the Fed, and then half an hour later we're gonna have the interest rate decision. So it's about 45 minutes away, which leaves us with quite a bit of time to just, you know, calm down, get in the zone, focus on the price action, and see what we can do with it. You know, I'm gonna just take you through everything. You know, it's for me, it's not necessarily very scary. For me, I thrive in volatility, so I'm excited for the stream. In terms of trading, it's just like any other day, right? So let's just go, guys. Let's go. It's gonna be really good. Let me see who is right now in the chat. We have a bunch of people in the chat. Welcome, guys. If you've never if you're new, then welcome. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Mike. I am a professional trader. I've been doing this for 5 years now. I trade all kinds of time frames. I'm a swing trader, I'm a day trader, and I am a scalp trader. Scalp trading I do with heavy volatility, which is exactly the reason why I am looking for some potential opportunities. Maybe they come along, maybe it's going to be a non-event. We don't know yet, right? And maybe the setup that's going to be presented to ourselves is not a good one, for example. Who knows, right? Anyway, we're gonna see. High time frame analysis. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna really quickly go through it. Let me see in the chat. We got a few people. Also see a few familiar people, few familiar faces in here. Hello, everybody. Let me know how you are doing today. What are your expectations from the announcement? You know, I think it's pretty safe to say we're gonna see an increase in interest rates. In the end, for me, it doesn't really matter what the decision is. For me, what does matter is that it does bring, usually, not always, but usually it brings us some volatility, and that gives some nice scalping opportunities. And with scalping, I mean short, small movement trades. Now, you might think, okay, so how am I going to go about it? Well, that's what you're here for, guys. So welcome, everybody. I see Tom's Diner, High Above, Gerko. Sorry if I butcher your name, but with all these nicknames anyway, doesn't really matter, right? So welcome, everybody. What's up, guys? What's up? Happy that you are able to join. Let's make it a lively stream, shall we? So feel free, chat away. If you have any ideas, questions, whatever, just write them out in the chat. And if there's a moment of opportunity, I'll take some time to answer those. As a matter of fact, I do actually want to have some background music, but to be honest, I'm a little bit afraid to get like copyright infringement on the channel. So I don't really know the rules. So I'm gonna not do it right now, but maybe next time. Gets me in my zone, you know. I like to trade with music, you know. Anyway, so I see people rolling in. Subscribe to the channel, by the way, if this is your first time seeing this. Also hit the like so we can pump up the algorithm. It will also help pump Bitcoin, you know. Liking YouTube videos pumps Bitcoin, guys. It pumps Bitcoin really, really hard. So like it and smash it. Smash it. Destroy the like button. All right, so let's dive into the charts. Let's just move right into it. No time for stupid small talk right now. Let's just go into the charts. All right, so what am I looking at? Overall remains bullish market structure. So ultimately on the higher time frame, mid time frame, I still expect higher prices. However, right now we have pretty much not really done too much today, as I can see. So in the end, I didn't really miss that much. So I'm happy about that. So let's just frame the structure that I'm looking at right now. A lot of lines you might see, right? So I'm gonna filter it out where I'm going to see confluence. So overall, drawing my famous white box right now, we're simply put into this range. Initially, we had 2 weeks of consolidation over here. We broke out, failed to maintain, which is what I would class a failed auction, backtested this old structure, if only just barely. Then we had another increase in price, got rejected off of the $30,000, which also marks an extremely high time frame level. That level, $30,000, is very, very, very important because it is a channel that is standing for 2 years straight, pretty much. That is not the right one. This is a volume level. We are talking about this line. So let me zoom out. I am talking about the high time frame channel that we got that started off, well, 2 years ago, really. And now we are pretty much grinding against that. At the moment, as long as we do not lose support, in other words, we do not lose the white box, I would class this still as bullish consolidation underneath resistance. As long as that, whoops, wow. As long as that, hope that doesn't happen again. So that threw me off a little bit. What was I saying? Oh, right. So as long as we do not lose this box, then there's really no point in saying that we're going to go lower. Does it have the potential to do that? Yeah, sure. But currently we're just simply trading within this structure. And in any way for the local time frame doesn't really matter too much. So I'm going to remove that and I'm going to really focus more on this section overall, because this is the white box that we're currently in at the moment, especially for day trading, scalp trading, and in terms of volatility. I do not necessarily expect a breakout right now because of the announcement. It can happen. That would be great. That would be great to have that kind of action on live stream, but we'll see. So framing that into the box, we need to refine that a little bit, because we're looking for more exact levels when we're trying to look at the lower time frames. So the following levels I've got going on is a daily level and a weekly level right at the top of the range, based off of candle closes and market structure. And likewise, we have some levels here below. Now you can see that these are fairly spread out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some volume levels over here, simply pulling a fixed range, checking out the volume levels from start to finish. And there we have the levels set up for ourselves. We have value area high over here. We have a point of control and a daily level slightly below. And as you can see, we haven't touched it yet. So that already sparks an inspiration of what we could potentially look for, right? So I would say, currently, to distill the levels overall of the range, very, very important level, 30,000 to 30,500, really still. To the downside, we have a very important key level as well, which is set at 27,100. Breaking down below, then we're progressing on the midterm time frame. As long as we don't do that, I would class everything like this as more lower time frame, right? Lower time frame. So as long as we stay within that, there's, you could simply look for a reaction at the top, potentially trading it back to the bottom, because in the end, price is usually ranging longer than people expect, right? And if we get to the bottom of that, that is where I would be looking for long. I'm not going to look for longs up here, and I'm not going to look for shorts up here, because this is resistance, this is support. As a professional trader, it's not something that you're supposed to do. Or at least, in my teachings, that's not what I would ever recommend to you. So we've got a bunch of levels, right? We have this level over here, we have this level over here, and we have this daily level going on over here. And currently we are actually set at a more local level. So that allows us to zoom in a little bit more into the lower time frame. But before I forget, actually before I do, I prepared this already a little bit. So I pulled some Fibonacci levels from high to low, from low to high, right? So from high to low gives us some confluence actually at this level as well. So yet another level where two technical levels from different sources line up with each other. So that is potentially a good reaction point where we could see price increase and then potentially decrease from there. We will have to see how that goes. And likewise for where we were this day. And that immediately gives us the proof of why we actually bounced earlier here today, right? It was right on the 618 Fibonacci level, in the process front running that daily and point of control level. Ideally, for a new trade setup, I would potentially look for a reaction as we are taking out this low, potentially over here. However, right, the first thing we need to do, there's a few factors we really need to take into account in the coming 30 minutes, actually in 4 minutes, right? Because we need to measure what's the size. So this is a 3% range. Does Bitcoin have the opportunity to move 3%? Yes, it does. However, because we have been consolidating right up in the middle of the range for the last 3 days, really, right? A little bit underneath, a little bit above. We could have extreme volatility. So I'm being cautious about trading these levels at here, because we could easily have much more volatility coming in, a lot of volume coming in, and actually overextend the targets. And as you can see, we're now 3 minutes before the actual thing started, and the markets already are starting to move, right? People are getting really excited, and they're exiting and entering into positions already. At the moment, it's not overly difficult to move the market because we do not really have such a big volume day just yet. right? It's the end of the day, it's in the evening, right? As compared to yesterday, you could see that the volume is really dropping off, which makes me extra cautious for the smaller levels over here, right? Regardless, I do want to see how the reaction is there, because if an opportunity presents itself, it can provide us with a potential trade setup. Simple as that. However, I kind of expect a little bit of a bigger move, to be fair. But we're gonna see. We also have a local Fibonacci level, so that's the last one that I want to talk about really quickly, from high to low. We just have this outside of this range, really. So we could even potentially do something like this, also backtesting this piece of market structure, and then get that drop downside, where we could look for a first reaction over here and potentially lower. Ideally would be here, to be fair. So really, in short, we're really going to have to see how this is going to progress. So the first thing that I want to do now, before I'm going to move into the order flow, is I am going to simplify the chart, where I would say, okay, I'm going to remove all of this stuff because I already know that there's confluence over here, so I don't really need those levels, and that keeps me focused, right? I like clean charts. So currently, it looks like we're moving, but really no real progression here. We are testing an intraday level over here, which is the volume weighted average price, which, you know, is a good intraday level, suitable for scalping. We've just backtested that, actually. So what we can start doing is, let me see, what do I want to do? I first want to see how the ES is going on. This is the ES, this is the dollar. Dollar declining, ES just hitting resistance. Doesn't look really that great, to be fair, at the moment, right? But hey, I would say we're gonna get some irrational movements pretty soon. So I'm gonna remain cautious. So far, nothing really new yet. At the moment, currently simple as day. ES at resistance, dollar at support. So we'll have to see what is going to happen. So based off of this information, the only thing I can do is, I think, since we are at resistance, I think if, in a normal day, ES is more likely to actually go down a little bit. And that would make Bitcoin probably follow. However, now it's different. It's now 8 o'clock. We can see that the price action is coming in. Boom, let's go, guys. All right, let me switch over. It's gonna be a little bit complex because I'm trying to do this all on one screen. Normally I have multiple screens open, but we're getting we're getting 17 million candle over here. We are getting a massive squeeze, guys, massive squeeze at the moment. So through the daily open, important intraday level, swing failuring this high at the moment. Liquidity not that great, right? Tapping that previous day point of control, now having a small reaction, filling the empty places in the order book currently, and it looks like we are just having a very local swing failure at the moment. And keep in mind, I'm watching for a bigger move before I'm going to attempt to actually trade this. So I'm not interested in this small, really small swing failure pattern, for example, over here. Because the move is too small, it can easily catch you off guard, especially with that volatility. So what I'm usually doing when I expect these kind of volatility, I'm kind of widening my expectations of levels getting hit, and that is where I'm going to look to trade from, because else you can easily get caught off guard, and you can simply really easily get wrecked. So we have a liquidity issue at the top of this candle and at the low of the candle. This is order flow on the Bybit exchange. However, I'm going to translate it to BitGet because that is where I'm going to look to potentially trade on it if there's a setup going to be given. I'm not going to trade just for the sake of trading. I am only going to take a good setup, even though the account is very small, right? Even though the account is very small. So currently, SFP this high over here, backtested the VWAP over here. What else can we look at? How are we looking at the shorts and the longs currently? So, well, basically as expected, longs getting stopped out, shorts getting stopped out, getting aggressive at local support over here at the VWAP, and it looks like currently we are holding it. I am looking, my big measure point is going to be this high over here. And I want to measure the volume against that. So for a legitimate break to the upside, I want to see more volume. So I want to see more volume and more delta, actually. I've made some notes, and I think in my haste, I think I might have made a small mistake. So let me just see how that is going on. So we're looking at the high of the 2nd of May. Yeah, so we are looking at the high of right. So the 2nd of May, so this one. Okay, so I made a small mistake because I noted down 6.5 million volume, but it is actually 17. Now, do I class this as strong resistance? There is a lot of volume in the candle, there is a lot of delta in the candle. However, this was simply a stop run, right? Marking out that, giving that nice reaction on the value area high. So is this a strong resistance? Well, actually, no, because it was actually getting people pushed out of the market rather than actually getting trapped. So, no, it's not a strong resistance. Then we also look for the downside, where we would see 7.7 mil coming in over here. A little bit more neutral, this low, a little bit more neutral. So, what I want to see for a legitimate breakout is I want to see an increase in volume. Right, I want to see an increase in volume either at the highs or the lows as we break through these levels. Initially, that signals strength. So that is not immediately going to give me a trade opportunity. However, it's going to give me potential. Because if we then actually fail to maintain that high, and if we do have traders actively trading at the top, they have the potential to get squeezed to the opposite side. And that can provide a trade opportunity for a scalp trade. So that is what I will be looking for. And at the moment, currently, it looks like a little bit of really local volatility, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set alerts over here. Let me know if the volume of the sound is actually okay, guys. And then I'm just gonna chill down a little bit because I'm too excited, guys. Too excited. And I want, what did I say now? I want to see this low being taken out as well. So I'm going to front run this alert just slightly. Actually, I'm just going to put it over here and put it over here. And that gives us a little bit of time to just chill down a little bit. Maybe look at the chat. Dollar is actually reacting quite heavily, is dropping down currently. However, nothing. So this is the thing. This is at the moment exactly as predicted, right? Yes, at resistance, so I would expect a drop in price, which also would be followed by Bitcoin. However, the dollar is also declining, now bouncing, right? So we have to see that on a slightly lower time frame. But the funny thing is, we're literally half an hour before the actual announcement. Shall we actually watch it together when Jerome is starting to speak? Shall we do that? Let me refresh. Let me refresh that and see if it's already going on. So here, there we go. This is going to be this is going to be where the press conference. Let's watch it together, guys. Let's watch it together. See what he says. And funny thing is, it hasn't even started yet, and you can already see the emotions running really high. Really high. And so this is why I don't like, this is why I always have to laugh a little bit with this volatility, because how can you trade? It's pure speculation currently. It's just pure speculation. No news has been released, no real data has come out yet price is getting super volatile. For trading, this is great. But if you're waiting for the announcement and then make decisions, you can already see that prices, first of all, moving before a little bit. And then, when the actual announcement comes, usually you have another spike in volatility. It's a little bit random, right? So you can just see how people are literally, we see it live on the screen right now, how people are just blatantly taking trades without having actual real information. Right, the technicals at the moment, no real level even has been hit, really. Besides of this intraday level, which also marks the middle of the range, and because it's the middle of the range, it's usually not the greatest place to trade from, right? So when would I look to trade the VWAP? If we would, let's say, if we were not in a range like this, and we would be, let's say, on a more trending day, we had a big deviation, right? And then we have that retracement. That is when I'm much more interested to trade that VWAP. Currently, we've just been well, pretty much been hovering around the VWAP really the whole day, really, as you can see, you know. We have made a rotation to the lows. Now we have pretty much made a rotation to the highs. Yet we haven't taken out any level, and not even a local level, really. So I'm going to zoom in actually even further. As you can see, just choppy price action. Very volatile, but choppy at the moment. So it really doesn't really know what it wants to do. Let me just smash on some extra TA and see if we have some confluence over here. There we go. So where did we got reject? Yeah, you know, it is really technical, you know, albeit just by a few dollars overshooting and undershooting these levels, but overall it's just very contained still. Very contained still. Very big indecision candle being printed on the ES. The dollar is just having no clue really what it's doing. If to say anything, it did lose support just now, right? So it did lose support. Let me zoom in on this chart. I'm looking at a downward sloping channel over here, which has been respected still. You know, I have been showing this channel, I think, for 3 weeks now in my live streams. It's still in this channel, super well respected. Midline really well respected. Top line rejection, overshooting it, shooting it just a little bit, and then boom, as you can see, big reaction. This is a big reaction for the dollar. Now, once again, it's support, locally falling through. So let's see if we can reclaim that on the dollar. Right, so if the dollar is going to increase to the upside, it's highly likely we're going to see some more downside on Bitcoin. So we're going to see if that inverse correlation holds up during that announcement. And in the meantime, I guess we can just Bitcoin is a little bit. It really doesn't know what it wants to do right now. So for me, it's not a great scalping environment currently. Why? Because we have the daily open, we have the VWAP, and we have the previous day levels as well, just all around the same region. And, you know, that doesn't really give me a clear heads up whether this is currently to be classed as support or resistance. It's both at the same time. And that doesn't give a very high probability trade. So I would look for a deviation first. Then potentially I could look for a short trade maybe over here. Although, like I said before, I expect a little bit higher. If that happens, and likewise for the downside. But these are levels that I'm going to check for a reaction. So as a matter of fact, keep the chart clean, and I'm just gonna zoom in not zoom in, just gonna leave it like that, really. Clean it up a little bit, nice and clean, you know, clean chart clears the mind, I would say. So we are basically what happened over here is people getting pushed out of the market, and it looks like they are attempting to get back into now. So if anything, this volatility sparked by people getting out of positions, waiting for the news event to start, and now it's starting to recover a little bit. Both shorts and longs are opening, indicating range behavior at the moment. Because there's no real imbalance on both sides. Pretty equal, right? It was pretty equal. Whoa, that is a lot of volume in this candle, by the way. 53 million volume. Keep in mind, we were just looking at the daily volume, right? Which before that was set below 400 million on the entire day. So 50 million volume in a single 5-minute candle is crazy. It's crazy. All right, guys, let me see what is going on in the chat. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so no expectations. Here we have, as expected, we have our 0.25% numbers coming out, which happened at 8 o'clock. So now we're going to see what Jerome Powell has to say about it. And most people are essentially looking for... my apologies, by the way. I confused some of you. So at 8 o'clock, the actual numbers come out, and then half an hour later is actually when the meeting starts, which usually sparks another piece of volatility, right? And what most people are going to look for is the tone of the Fed, right? The biggest question is, are they going to cut rates shortly? Are they going to cut rates soon? If you want to have my personal opinion, I don't really think so per se. I think the rates are going to maybe less increases, but I think they're going to hold on for longer. And of course, the Fed is doing this to influence the market, not in the most bullish way. So I think they're going to have a slightly hawkish tone. Which for the short-term volatility doesn't really matter. This is more for the long term, right? So for now, it's pretty much just trading the charts, and whatever happens, right? What happens today and in the coming hour or so is not really representative of what's gonna happen in the next few months. That is my personal opinion, also my personal experiences, right? While we might see a big drop on Bitcoin currently, and with a big drop, I'm talking in scalping things and day trading things. So a drop of 4 or 5% is pretty large on Bitcoin, especially if it happens in a few minutes, right? So yeah, I see somebody saying like, yes, I do think they do want the markets to come down overall a little bit more, and also it's just a slow-oiled machine. Anyway, I don't really want to go into the fundamentals.
I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
What
I'm
is
tired.
going on? That is not what I wanted. Let me take a look at the chat as we are tuning into the meeting, right? So, by the way, wow, we have a lot of viewers in the live stream currently. Smash up those likes, guys. Smash them up. Smash them up. We have over 200 viewers, 225 viewers at the moment, and only 68 likes. So very small effort, and yeah, you would do me a massive favor. So pump them up, pump those likes, guys. It's gonna help me. It's gonna make me happy. And it's a small effort. So let me see what is going on in the chat. Let me just pull this out. I'm gonna end this poll. It's the first time I'm doing this poll. Where can I see the results? Over here. So let me pop this out. As you can see, it's pretty much improvisation going on over here. Let me just take a look at the chat in the meantime, when we are waiting for some levels to get hit, guys. Hello, guys. Hello. Yeah, I'm so happy that you guys are joining me. It's great. It's great. Yeah, I corrected that. My bad. I struggled with my words, I guess. But yeah, you're completely right. The interest rates have already been given. Really no surprise, 25 basis points was widely expected. So really no surprise there. Really no surprise there. Yeah, and then, in 15 minutes is the actual meeting going to start, where they're going to say some words, and then people are going to be emotional again. That's what we want if we want to trade. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, guys. What they actually say is not even that important. We have our levels ready, we are prepared, and we have all the tools that we need. We have good company, we have a good chat going on, we have the charts going on, we're prepared, we're having our levels in advance, and of course we are having really great insight into what is really going on in the belly of the beast, guys, in the belly of the beast, the beating heart of Bitcoin. So I am very excited, by the way, because this week's gonna be a big week. Keep a big eye on this. Keep a close eye on this channel, because this week I'm gonna make an announcement that I think is gonna give you all a really cool, fun, and great opportunity. It's finally time to do some announcements. Good interview with Jason. Yeah, man. Shout out to you, man. That was really fun. It's a pleasure to have been joining that stream. It was really cool. I told a little bit about how I really got into crypto and how my journey was like. So check it out if you guys are interested. Yes, the bot has it right. Subscribe to this channel and hit the likes, guys. BitGet is scammy. All right, you are entitled to your own opinion. I would be interested to know what exactly is scammy about it. I agree they might be a bit aggressive in their promotion, but that's not necessarily scammy. Scamming is if you're stealing somebody else's money. So far hasn't happened, so don't really know what you're on about there. There is a single print in Confluence with the blah 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 29160. All right, let me check 29160. 29. Oh yeah, you are actually correct. I totally forgot to mention that. That is 100% true. 100% true. Yes, I do agree with that. As a matter of fact, I was yesterday actually looking for that to be taken out. Didn't work out. So maybe we're gonna do that in a second. So the top of this single print, a little bit of the double distribution day. Not the best textbook example, but what is important to know is that there's a nice SP in between here, zero market structure during the drop, and the top of this SP also has some nice confluence with the 618 over here. So let me just pull those back on, literally over here, right? So there's really nice confluence with this over here, and we have this old range as resistance. So there is also definitely confluence over there. I've already set an alarm for this one. Would be great if we do something like this, right? Boom, get a rejection, maybe fake out a little bit high and then actually have a drop. That would be absolutely great. It's a little bit more drawn out over time. So we will see how that is going to happen. Where did I left my chat? Where did I left my chat? There we go. There we go. Let me see what's that going on. Yep, I agree. Sound is good. Sound is good. All right, thanks. I already forgot that I asked you guys, but great. Would be funny if I just rambled on and my sound was off, right? Then I would have done this for nothing. Masterclass by Mike. He's giving it away for free. Yes, that's right, guys. That's right. That's right. That's why all I'm asking for you currently is just subscribe to this channel and hitting the likes. Gonna release a new series soon. A bunch of cool stuff coming out next week for free. So keep an eye on this. What's the thesis in shorting a bit high? Well, we'll get there when we get there. I'm gonna cover it live, so we're gonna no worries. We're gonna do that. No EAP talk. I agree, my friend. I agree. It's always speculation. It's just faster hitting time. Well, essentially, yes. Bigger targets get hit faster during these volatility moments. I do agree. Whoa, loads of activities. Let me see. All right. The results of the poll. I ended the poll over here, and the majority makes me proud, because it means that if you've been following me, that I've taught you well. Because you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care. What matters is the charts. So 25 BPS anyway, don't care. And that is exactly what we got. So we now just need to wait for that volatility going to kick in the next 9 to 15 minutes or so. Guus, I'm not sure in what language I should pronounce it. I grew up as a trader with you, Mike. Your voice is more familiar. That's funny. It's just a pleasure to read these kind of comments, So it's just really a pleasure to just know that I've been helping people out, and that's just really what I'm aiming to do. Yeah, I'm getting lots of comments. My bad. everybody is completely right. Announcement already was there. In my excitement, I just said some stuff that that was not true. But yeah, 25 basis points already came out. When we talk about DP says, hey Mike, when we talk about will, is it a big spot order or large leverage order on futures? Does the market know where the liquidation regions are? That is quite a good question. To be honest, there's no real way of knowing. So what you can only see over here is market orders, because market orders are the only type of orders that actually move the price. And all we can see is the size of the orders, when it's coming in, where it's coming in, but not why it's coming in and where from. So it's really difficult to say. Of course, if you have a trained eye and have the experience, you can see if those are limit orders, for example. But the exact definition of a will, I would say traders or institutions that just have a lot of capital available to them. So in my honest opinion, trading on 100x leverage, yes, can give pretty decent position sizes. However, I would not class that as being a will, right? I would not class that as being a will. It's just somebody trading on extreme on adrenaline, really, I would say. Yeah, it's just extremely risky. Trading on 100x is just suicide, you know? It's really just gambling. It's really just gambling. They want to break the market before pivot. Oh, I think I already addressed this comment. Yeah, that's my opinion as well. Eventually, they are gonna sound hawkish because they simply want people to not be too bullish. Because then they might need to increase interest rates further even. So we'll see. Of course, there's two sides to the story, right? You have the angle of the consumer, like the retail market participant, but you also have to think about companies, right? So it's kind of a complex thing. There's different angles to the story. I think it's a bit too broad to just really discuss this in depth while we're expecting price action, because I want to focus on the price action. And of course, there's a lot of hearsay going on. So talking about it is not really giving any opportunities, really, at least not in the short term. We should be happy to see people jumping into uninformed trades right now, just like in poker. It's the bad play that yeah, fair play, mate. Yeah, I do agree. That is how it works. Trading is a zero-sum game. It's very simple. Somebody wins, and on the opposite side, that means that somebody else is losing. That is just the nature of the market. If I'm a gambler, I will say money printing and hiking rates is just what will come till the end of the year. I'm losing my focus slightly, but yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, boils down to the speculation story, really. It's wild speculation. And that fluctuates in the market on the short term, but it's the underlying machine that eventually powers the engine. So yeah, do you day trade the SPX 500 too? I have done so in the past. Currently, I've been quite busy. Coming up with cool stuff. I've really been working hard, actually. So actually this week I haven't really been trading as active as I normally do, because I almost wanna spill the beans, but I don't want to do it yet. I want to do it the right way, because I've been working quite hard on just really a lot of few things. Free content and paid content as well is gonna come soon. But yeah, you just have to wait a little bit longer to know like more specifics and details on what's gonna come next. So yeah, that is anyway, that was really deviating from your question, by the way. Sorry about that. Do I day trade the SPX 500? I like to trade futures, to be fair. So if I trade the indices, then I trade it on futures. So that would be the ES. I have day traded stocks in the past quite a bit, but at the moment, Bitcoin being very volatile again, I'm more focused on trading crypto currently. I did in December, for example, and November, when and the months before that, when we were in this really big high time frame range. The market was just really dying out and very still, very choppy price action. Those are times that I do turn to other markets, because in the end I am a day trader. So and I use the same methodology on any kind of asset, regardless of what it is. So currently I'm not actively trading stocks. I do invest in them, but I do not day trade them currently. But if the let's say Bitcoin if there are no trades on Bitcoin, for example, I do from time to time trade stocks. Yes. But my main source of trading and my main source of income is and remains crypto, specifically Bitcoin, and sometimes a few altcoins, if the season's there. Currently, we're not anywhere in an altcoin season whatsoever. Some of them have pumped a little bit, but really nothing special or out of the ordinary. Quite crazy to say that, because some of those did 100+%. But hey, that's, I guess, normal in crypto. A few thumbs up. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for the stream. First time here. Very much welcome. Hope you're enjoying this content. Hope you are enjoying the content. In my opinion, the downtrend is on. Well, at the moment, that is literally just an opinion, because technically it is not. Technically, it is not confirmed yet. Really. At least on the midterm time frame, right? It's not confirmed. So break $27,000, then the chart is literally giving first initial signs of weakness. It's not necessarily ultra weak yet. Depends on how we get there. But it doesn't mean that we are immediately super weak, because we still have $25,000 below us, which is a much larger level in my opinion. So we could even fake out to the downside, tap that level, and then bounce from there. However, if we do go to 25K, then yes, then it becomes a bit more mixed, because it does potentially break the structure, and that could lead to bearish price action. I do agree. But to say from here on out, the trend is broken, it's just simply incorrect, because we're just literally going sideways. We've not put in a new high, right? We also haven't put in a new low, if you're measuring from this one. These are the levels that we're looking for, right? And so far, we've just done nothing in between, right? You can dissect it further. We have this high, and yes, from this point on, it does look like we are in a more or less of a downtrend. But even then, we haven't had a single candle close above this high yet. So, as a matter of fact, we're literally just going sideways. So overall, going sideways. High time frame currently structure is still up, but all the other time frames are pretty much sideways. So we're really, really, really range bound currently. Really range bound. All right, it is now time for some volatility, hopefully. I'm gonna put away the questions for now. Gonna come back to them later. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. But it is now almost time. Now, maybe I should hit play. We can have this on the background. Let's see if they already started. Ah, there we go. There we go. Let me just refresh this. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. Let's watch. Let's watch. Let me see if you guys have sound.
Good afternoon.
Look at his face.
Before discussing today's meeting, let me comment briefly on recent developments in the banking sector. Conditions in that sector have broadly improved since early March.
Hope you can hear it, by the way.
The U.S. banking system is sound and resilient.
Let me see.
We will continue to monitor conditions in the sector. We're committed to learning the right lessons from this episode. And
so I'm gonna try and listen a little bit, as well as.
As a first step in that process, last week we released
we're just going to take a look at the price action. What it's going to do
of the Federal Reserve's supervision and regulation of Silicon
Volume not
Valley
coming
Bank.
in yet.
The review's findings underscore the need to address our rules and supervisory practices to make for a stronger and more resilient banking system, and I'm confident that we will do so.
Let's see.
From the perspective of monetary policy, our focus remains squarely on our dual mandate to promote maximum employment
Liquidity
and stable
issues
prices
over
for
here,
the
so I
American
expect
people.
this load to be taken out at least. Let's see if we
My
do so
colleagues
on
and I
volume.
understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we remain strongly committed to bringing inflation
Same to
back
the
down
upside,
to
by
our
the way.
2% goal. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve. Without price stability, the economy does not work for
I'm
anyone.
trying to up the volume, but
In particular,
I can't, for
without
some
price
reason
stability,
I
we
can't.
will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Today, the FOMC raised its policy interest rate by a 1/4 percentage point.
All right, let's see what he has to
Since
say.
early last year, we've raised interest rates by
In
a
two
total of 5
sentences should give
percentage
some
points in
volatility,
order to
guys.
attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time.
Yep.
We are
Well-known 2%,
also
guys.
continuing to reduce our securities holdings. Looking ahead, we'll take a data-dependent approach in determining the extent to which additional policy firming may be appropriate.
See what the dollar is doing. Okay,
I will have
dollar's
more to
bouncing
say
back,
about
though.
today's monetary policy actions after briefly reviewing
ES
economic
indecision,
developments.
Bitcoin indecision. I feel like I'm
The
reporting
U.S.
on a
economy
football
slowed
match, guys.
significantly last
Maybe-
year,
maybe I
with
should
real
be
GDP
commentating. I'm
rising
gonna
at a
commentate
below
now,
trend pace of 0.9%. The pace of economic growth in the first quarter of this year continued to be modest
Keep
at
on hitting the likes,
1.1%,
by the way. Would
despite a
greatly
pickup
appreciate
in
that.
consumer spending. Activity in the housing sector remains
much
weak,
going on at the
largely
moment, really.
reflecting higher mortgage rates. Higher interest rates and slower output growth also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment.
People shushing me.
The
Okay,
labor
I'll
market
shut up.
remains very tight. Over the first 3 months
Open
of the
interest
year,
coming.
job gains averaged 345,000 jobs per month.
Few longs
The
opening.
unemployment rate remained very low in March at 3.5%.
Shorts opening as well.
Even so, there are some signs that supply and demand in the labor market are coming back into better balance. The labor force participation rate has moved up
Low
in
volume
recent
at the
months,
moment.
particularly for
Good
individuals
squeeze.
aged
Good squeeze
25
out,
to
though.
54
Good
years.
squeeze.
Nominal wage growth has shown some signs of
support at
easing,
the
and
moment.
job vacancies have declined so far this year. But overall, labor
See how
demand
the
still
daily open goes if
substantially
we get there.
exceeds the supply of available
Market
workers.
structure here. Low volume.
Inflation remains well above our longer-run goal of 2%.
Absolute key level right
Over the
now.
12 months ending in March, total PCE prices
lows
rose
going to be taken out,
4.2%.
Very likely to be
Excluding the
taken out.
volatile
If we
food and
do,
energy categories, core PCE prices rose
Lower
4.6%.
28,270
Inflation
next.
has moderated somewhat since the middle of last year.
Yep. I
Nonetheless,
think we're gonna
inflation pressures continue to run high, and the process
cannot
of getting
take a trade
inflation
here.
back down to 2%
I cannot take
has
a
a
trade
long way
here.
to go.
It's just
Despite
too
elevated
risky.
inflation, longer-term inflation expectations
worth the
appear
risk
to
to
remain
reward.
well anchored, as
Look like
reflected in a
this.
broad range of surveys
so
of
I would
households,
risk the same
businesses, and
as
forecasters,
that I would make.
as well as
so
measures from financial markets.
Can take a trade here.
The Fed's
Although I
monetary
expect it
policy
to up
actions
now.
are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable
Hindsight, this would
prices
have
for
been
the
a
American
decent trade,
people.
right? But hey,
My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship
there we go.
as it
Taking out
erodes
the lows.
purchasing power,
Previous day equal
especially
equilibrium.
for those least able to
All
meet
right,
the
let's
higher
go,
costs
guys.
of
Let's
essentials
go, 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 go,
like
go, go, go,
food,
go, go.
housing, and transportation.
All right, let's see if some volume coming
We are
in.
highly attentive to the risks that high inflation
don't care anymore what Powell
poses
says.
to both
Let's
sides
go.
of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning
All right, longs
inflation
getting stopped
to
out
our
over here.
2%
Decrease in
objective.
open interest. Shorts opening up.
At
Shorts
today's
opening
meeting,
up.
the committee raised
Ready
the target
for
range for the federal
potentially
funds
another
rate
push
by a
to the
quarter
downside.
percentage point,
We took out any
bringing the
significant
target
lows.
range to
No, we
5
did
to
not.
5.25%. And we're continuing the process of significantly reducing our
Dollar getting a
securities
little bit of
holdings.
a counter reaction.
With
ES
today's action, we have
simply
raised interest rates by
holding the
5
level
percentage
currently.
points in a little more than a year.
I'm guessing this is the
We are seeing the
618.
effects of our policy
Yep,
tightening on
that's why we're
demand
stalling.
in the
There
most
we go.
interest rate
I
sensitive
expect us to fall
sectors of the
through, to be
economy,
honest.
particularly housing and investment.
I expect us to be
It will
falling
take time,
through.
however, for the full effects of monetary restraint
go.
to be realized,
Want to see
especially
that
on
daily point
inflation.
control? 28,270.
In addition, the economy is likely to face further headwinds from tighter credit conditions. Credit conditions had already been tightening over the past year or so
Okay, what
in
I'm gonna
response to
try-
our policy actions and a softer
Lowering my
economic outlook. But the strains that emerged in the banking sector in early March appear to be resulting in even tighter credit conditions
Sorry, guys,
for
doesn't
households and
work.
businesses. In turn, these tighter credit
work.
conditions are likely to weigh on economic activity,
thought this out a
hiring,
little
and
bit
inflation. The extent of these effects remains uncertain.
Trying to manage the volume a little bit.
In
Alright,
light of these
so
uncertain headwinds,
getting
along with
local
monetary
support
policy
currently.
restraint we've put in
Local
place,
support.
our
Alright,
future
we are
policy actions
having
will depend on how
few
events unfold. In determining the extent
shorts
to which
coming in.
additional policy firming may be
Good.
appropriate to return
need a further
inflation
drop.
to 2%
Further
over
drop.
time, the
let's see
committee
if
will
we can
take
take
into
out
account
this low.
the cumulative tightening of monetary
7.7
policy,
mil.
the lags with which
Negative
monetary policy
1.8
affects economic activity and inflation, and economic and financial developments.
Let's see.
We will
Daily
make
point of
that
control,
determination meeting by meeting,
Not a clean hit.
based on the totality of incoming data
I expect
and their
lower.
implications for the outlook for economic
Maybe a local
activity
bounce.
and inflation.
Really need to
And we
reclaim
are
that
prepared
previous
to
day
do more
equilibrium right
if
now.
greater monetary
before
policy
we could
restraint
get a
is
bounce
warranted.
going. Doesn't happen. Lower
We
prices.
remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal
Daily point of
and
control
to keep
hit
our
right now.
longer-term
Volume coming
inflation
in.
expectations
Big volume
well
coming
anchored.
in.
Reducing
25
inflation is
million
likely to
volume,
require
guys.
a period of below-trend growth
Within this range,
and some softening of labor
large
market
volume.
conditions.
Delta turning
Restoring
negative.
price stability is essential
Shorts coming
to
in.
set the stage for achieving maximum employment
Emotions running
and
high.
stable prices over the longer run.
Would be great if this continues.
To conclude, we understand that our
786
actions affect
Fibonacci
communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do
Right.
everything we
We
can
are
to
having
achieve
a
our maximum
bounce.
employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Thanks, Gina.
Alright, I think that was it for now. I'm gonna close this because I'm struggling with with, with talking and everything. But that was it, I think. Now we have some questions and everything. Much is a little bit disappointing, the volatility. A little bit disappointing. None of the levels got hit. None of the levels got hit. Okay, so let's continue. We are getting shorts. Not a great low over here, so not worthy of a trade. However, for the bounce to get going, we need to reclaim this level. We can easily 28,410. Backtesting the VWAP, right? Could be a great option. This is not an ideal trade for me. At the moment, you could trade this, albeit it's already a little bit too late now because we're already having a wick. That would mean you're literally entering at resistance right now, right? So we have to zoom down to the 1 minute chart right now. Let's see how the backtest goes. Let us see how the backtest goes. In the meantime, trying to identify potential trade sub. Let's say if we do reclaim that VWAP, then what does that give us? Still not a great risk to reward ratio, so we would be needing to look for higher. That could be a potential opportunity. That could be a potential opportunity. Yeah, it's really just I'm not gonna attempt that because it's just not the way that I like to trade, you know. It's not the way that I like to trade. So okay, so we are seeing a big bounce. So let me walk you through what I'm seeing. So we are having some shorts coming in. This was a big volume candle, but the amount of shorts and the place where we're bouncing from is not that great. Honestly, is not that great. So now, you know, this didn't give me the conviction to actually enter into a long trade. If we start now actually bouncing, which we do right now, either I'm going to look for a short up higher, or if we are back testing potentially this VWAP once again, and we could potentially look for a trade setup like this. And I repeat, this is not the most ideal trade setup that I would look for. So my actual preference has this kind of setup, right? Take profit 1 and then potentially go down. Much better risk to reward, you know. Be a bit lenient with the stop loss. But let's see. Okay, through the VWAP again. Still, I mean, man, Bybit has so much liquidity issues lately, man. I really do not like that. This is why I'm recently trading a bit more on BitGet, because it simply just doesn't have these issues. Also, Bybit has these big wicks lately. You know, it's having quite some liquidity issues, at least on the inverse perpetuals, which is for me a little bit of a of an issue, really. I do not particularly like that. But anyway, that's not the point. So we are not having that much. I mean, we have some local volatility, right? But it's really so-so. It's really so-so. This was neither a very strong reaction, or there was no real case on the downside. So yes, we did bounce. So potentially we could continue up to squeeze these shorts before we see a bigger retracement. But at the moment, longs and shorts are opening just simply again, indicating some range behavior. And as you can see, we're now back at the VWAP, where you could potentially look for a trade setup. But like I said, I do not like this setup per se. But we're gonna see. We have filled all these liquidity gaps right now. Back at the point of control. Simply back where we started from. And that is that currently. So yeah, that's that. Okay, that is filled now. So ideal level would still be lower, to be honest. Taking out this low would present a good opportunity. So let's see. Let's do some identification over here. Could be 2.5% potential. That could be a nice setup. Taking out the low, hitting the POC again. Maybe I'm gonna go for a partial retracement. And the reason for that is because we have been behaving around this point of control for a long time now. And look at this candle. So you see what I'm doing? I keep the bigger picture in mind. So I keep on zooming out to see how the candle is looking like. And it does look like a pretty big indecision candle. Dollar is starting to look a little bit like doing something like this. ES, literally nothing changed, even though this is the 1 hour. But yeah, basically what it did is it formed a double bottom over here. So that could be taken out, which strengthens the scenario. So this is data that is now fresh. It's now coming in, right? It took out these highs. It did not took out these lows. So that could be a good opportunity. If the ES does this, reclaims it really quickly, then we could have a potential setup in our hands on the long trade. At the moment, no change on the situation. Let me know in the chat if you like this commentary while Powell was talking. I think that was pretty cool. Something I've never done before. But some live action commentary I think is pretty cool. I'm trying to find the chat. I lost the chat. I have lost the chat, guys. Let me refresh this. There we go. Let me pop it out again. While we are doing pretty much nothing. Turns out to be a little bit of a non-event, is it? So let's wait. I want to wait 15 minutes more, just, on the round hour, and see if we then get a potential move out here. Can't do everything at the same time. So I'm going to answer some questions now. Really, really divisive price action, to be honest here. Really divisive price action. Okay, so one thing that is now developing is that open interest is starting to increase by quite a bit. So we do have... so now we are starting to see an imbalance. So do you see the difference? So this is the point that I'm trying to make here, right? So in here, we had simply... a decrease of shorts and longs at the same time. Until then, we pretty much had an equal increase of longs and shorts. But now, in the last 10 minutes, it developed into something new. We now actually have more shorts open than longs, which increases the probability of a squeeze out here. However, because of the fact we didn't hit a key level over here, and the current reaction is struggling really with bouncing, does not give me the confidence and how am I phrasing this? I'm struggling for words here. It doesn't give the best trading setup, right? It doesn't give the best trading setup, because let's say if you would now enter at the VWAP, for example, you know, this is resistance for now, and it's just really basically not worth the trade, right? This is gonna be a take profit level, and then slightly above it, you know, and although that would be a bit wishful thinking, which is the reason why, if you're looking for a setup anyway, why not just wait for a little bit lower and look at how the risk to reward potentially increases. It's much better, and then you can even potentially look for that fake out to the upside, right? So that is more what I'm looking for, really. It's a much better opportunity if the setup is given, right? So if we just dump straight through it, loads and loads of volume coming in, and we just crash down, then obviously, you know, I'm not gonna take the trade, and I'm gonna look for the next level to be hit. But at the moment, it's a little bit of a non-event thus far. I guess because it's also all within expectations. Let's take some questions, guys. Let's take some questions. Let me up the microphone again a little bit so you can hear me a bit better. Just for the extra bass. Let me see. So let me scroll down for a little bit. I think I left off at... Yeah, next time I'm going to play some music. Can you make any explaining video on trailing stop? Yes. I will in the future for sure, but not now. Well, we've seen it live. Actually, nothing really happened. So there was a potential. The conclusion of this event is we were ready. We were prepared. That's the single most important thing that you really need to remember. We were prepared. We were looking to take potential trades where we expect, or we made our plan. Right? We know exactly what we're going to do and where. And that involves not trading in the middle of the range, right? And I've explained you, shown you in depth why I wouldn't be so keen on taking that setup and how that can translate to a potential good setup, right? So unfortunately, it turned out to be a little bit of a non-event thus far. Maybe the volatility comes in slightly later. Sometimes it also hits half an hour or like after the meeting has ended. So we will see. For now, I'm expecting a little bit lower in prices. Let me see. Saw your video with Jason Casper and subs. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that. Think a large portion, I don't know. Yeah, who knows? I cannot really see who is, only if you're active in the chat I can see who's active. So I don't know who is actually in the chat. You're a legend, Mike. Been with you since back in the day. What is your opinion on a potential Head and Shoulders fake out? Right, so that is actually a really good question. And that reminds me that I did want to say something about that. So we do have a potential Head and Shoulders, which is typically seen to be bearish, although I don't think it's the nicest Head and Shoulders at all. So you would be looking at something along the lines of this. Volume is important because what you want to see is generally a decline in volume, right? You want to see, boom, decline in volume. Decrease in volume, decrease in volume. So you generally want to see a decrease in volume overall, and that is not necessarily the case. So yes, there is a potential pattern. First of all, the shape is not the best, to be honest. You know, the shape is really not the best. But we could be looking at something like this, or we could simply be looking at something like this, which is the level that we already, or that I already have on the chart. So for me, there's no reason to see this as a Head and Shoulders pattern. All I need to know is that 27,100, right, is support. That is all I need to know, where I could potentially look for a drop to the downside, taking out these lows, maybe even this one. Similar situation as that I did live on the stream there. Potentially taking out those lows at the time and this one. And that happened. And from there on out, locally we took it out again. And then we had a really big increase in price once again, giving me a really nice trade. Currently, I'm still in my swing long trades, by the way. I'm still in those. And the situation overall has not changed. Despite the volatility over here. I remain in long trades for now. And if we do have nice and good price action, I am looking to compound onto that trade. If we do not hold the level, then I'm going to have to close the trade for a loss. Let me see. Let me take a sip of my water. No proof. Yeah, so this is the thing, like, you know, I disagree. It's all hearsay. It's all the time like that. And it's with every exchange like that. You know, back in the day with we were trading on BitMEX, you know, like what do you think happened with BitMEX, you know? In the end, you never know. You know? That's it. Currently, I like the exchange, and, you know, you don't necessarily have to follow me, but I'm trading with quite a large amount of capital on there. Nothing happened to me. I enjoy it. It works well. Is very liquid, and that is what I need. You know, that is what I need. And to be honest, I kind of want to stop also discussing a little bit about all these exchange wars. To be honest, you know, I'm trading on BitGet. I'm trading on Bybit. I'm going to move away from Bybit for a while because of the KYC, and not necessarily because I simply don't want to do KYC. I've mentioned before, I do not disagree with KYC. I think it's actually eventually it's gonna come anyway. However, I have my doubts about what's happening with the information. You know, and every exchange has debatable practices at some point, right? You know, Bybit, for example, really encourages people to trade after prices move like 50%. You know, you get thousands of messages, push notifications on your phone, like, oh, this coin pumped 100%, trade now, for example. You know, BitGet, on the other hand, also gives push notification, but at least they mention, like, okay, be aware that it is risky. So that is already, you know, that is a plus point for me. So, you know, like, it's kind of, at this point, it's pretty pointless discussion. I've made my decision, I've made my choice, and I don't really care what anybody else thinks. For me, it works really well. It serves my purposes. It's liquid, good tech, it works well. It doesn't break when there's volatility. You know, it doesn't have random volatility spikes, which Bybit recently does have, you know, and maybe at a later point in time, when I do decide to do KYC, I might return to BitGet. But for now, from next week on, I will be moving away from Bybit for now, and I will trade on BitGet. And that's what it is. And from now on, I'm also not really going to comment on all these exchange things. You know, in the end, I'm just also a user. I'm a trader on there, and I do what I think is best for me. And, you know, you can decide on yourself if you want to follow that. That's as simple as it gets, really. You know. All right. So moving on. So from now on, I'm not going to comment on all these ridiculous exchange things. Nothing personal, by the way, but there's been just so much things going on the internet lately, and I'm getting a little bit tired of it, to be honest. So I'm gonna not discuss it any further. All right. So this is a question about the order flow. Adolfo Lopez, welcome, my friend. We have open interest increase that in that 52 million 5-minute candle. It means we have high probability to liquidate those positions before the real move. Well, it depends. You need key levels to be hit, right? So while you can trade off of order flow alone, I prefer to first see key levels hit, and then when all the stars align, when I see all the check boxes in terms of people getting really afraid or really greedy at resistance and really afraid at support, that is when everything adds into the mix, right? So just one high volume candle in the middle of the range is really not saying that much. What it does say is, at the moment, we are starting to have quite bullish divergences, by the way. We are starting to have quite large bullish divergences, by the way. Do you know what? I am going to attempt to just take a trade from that. So what I'm going to do... see. not really used to trade these. So the new data says to me that shorts are actually getting really aggressive here. And that provides a case for me to open up a small trade position. So I'm not really used to trade small account like this. So I'm just going to type in something that, what should we do? I was in the wrong portal. Having an order, I haven't taken the trade yet because we're dropping now. Maybe we do get the setup after all. So, all right, so back to my point. What I wanted to say is locally now we have new data presenting. So we get really aggressive shorts at the moment. Locally, we're starting to see some CVD divergences. However, we simply are not really getting any push to the upside at the moment. So let me see how much volume we're talking about. I remain of the same idea that still this is not the best trading area, but I think I guess I'm just also a bit keen to taking a trade on stream, and I want to resist that, to be honest, because that's actually not the greatest example. So I'm simply just gonna stick with my guns right here. So what I'm seeing over here right now, CVD divergence indicating potential absorption of limit long orders in the middle of the range at the moment. Right now, shorts are starting to get fairly aggressive. However, we're still in the middle of the range. We're still in the middle of the range. So it still doesn't give the best trade setup. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm just going to look for these levels getting hit. That's it. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. So to answer your question, what does this 50 million volume candle or 30-minute volume candle actually mean? At the moment, it doesn't mean so much, really. It really doesn't mean so much because what we've done, yes, we've hit a local Fibonacci level, but not the level that I wanted. And it also didn't have significant confluence whatsoever, right? Maybe some local intraday confluence. Yes, that's true because it turns out that locally we've retraced to the 786. Allow me to show you. Earlier on in the stream, we've tapped that level, but we haven't taken out a significant low. We haven't taken out any significant key level. So there is no real big case to be built to be actually taking a trade from there on out. The fact that there was volume coming in at that particular candle could have progressed into a bigger drop to the downside, but that didn't happen. Instead, we just basically bounced, filled all the liquidity issues in the meantime over here, and really not that much is really happening. Really, we're now just really hovering at that VWAP, So if you would isolate it, so allow me to demonstrate why this is really not a good idea to trade. First of all, look at this price action. It's ugly as hell. It's really ugly. Look at these wicks. This is on the 5-minute time frames. So if you would short here, let's say you would short here. Could be, but the probability is simply just low because we're simply just at this level. Likewise, for the upside, which I've already shown numerous times, it's simply just not worth it. Not worth the risk, not worth the risk. Not gonna lie, I was a little bit tempted to actually take the trade because I want to provide you with some content here, but I'm just gonna have to give the right example and not do it. I'm not gonna take a suboptimal trade. Simple as that. So that's it. Hope you appreciate that. Live commentary is good. Well, great. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Haven't done this so much, so let me know. Give me some feedback, guys. How do you like this? I do think we need some background music next time. We do need to have some get a little bit of a party going on, right? Fake out. Oh, right. This was the head and shoulders questions. So short summary. I don't necessarily see it as a head and shoulders per se, but yes, that low we could potentially fake out those lows at 27,000. Oh wait, he is looking. Okay, you're looking at 24,000. All right, let me then take a closer look at that. 24,000. Yeah, could. Well, that would line up with the idea of having like a potential breakdown and then a really big bounce. However, I'm going to be a bit more cautious over here. I'm going to be a little bit more cautious over here because if we do so, then we've effectively changed higher time frame market structure as well. So while I would be interested in taking a long trade, you know, this is going to be fairly big resistance after that. So we could potentially do this and go further down. But yes, it could definitely, it would be possible. I would be looking for a potential long trade if the trade is given. If the trade is given at that level. I keep on losing my chat. There we go. What do we have next? Big fan since last 3 years. Keep going. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the motivation. And the support that you guys are giving me really keeps me on. Keeps me also highly excited and motivated to keep bringing you stuff. Yeah, and subscribe and hit the like, guys. Subscribe and hit the like. Would you ever be open to respectfully discuss what really happened? Yeah, maybe one day. It's just not my environment. Don't like the people there. Not the members though. Anyway, not gonna go into that now. But yeah, I might open up about that one day. Do you ever use Trading Light? I have. Whoa, that goes way back. I have. I think I have an account, but I haven't logged into that for at least 2 years. But I did use it when it just came out. I remember that. It isn't that the program that gives you heat maps. Yeah, I think it gives you heat maps. I'm pretty. Probably it's now been expanded with lots of new functions anyway. So yeah, I don't know how it is now, but I did use it in the past. I did not find it very helpful, to be fair, because the heat maps, it indicates buy and sell walls, but when price actually arrives at these levels, they tend to get removed really quickly. Therefore, I would say order flow is a far better tool to use. However, learning order flow is quite complex, but no worries. This year, you're gonna be able to learn from me. Oh man, I really need to keep my mouth shut. Anyway, limit orders get filled by market orders. There is no other way. That is 100% correct, my friend. 100% facts. 100x and $10. Yeah, I mean, so this is what I kind of wanted to do, I was really tempted to just take a long trade here. But I want to give the good example. This is $1,000 account. It's not, it's just for showing you guys the process of getting into a trade. But still, I'm not gonna gamble here on stream with a suboptimal trade. I just simply don't want to do that. Even if there would be like $10 in the account, like I can't do it. I want to only take good trades. For me, the money really doesn't matter whether I'm trading like with $10 positions, $1,000 positions, or multi-million-dollar positions. Doesn't matter. For me, the process remains and is always the same. That is how I've been able to grow my starting capital at the time, which was $500. To where I am at today. So as simple as that. Just focusing on the good setups, going for the high percentage, focusing on the percentages rather than the dollars. I mean, in the beginning, when I was scalping, I made literally like $3 a day. Successful trades, but nothing that you could live off of. And that's how I started out, but always kept that focus in mind, thinking about percentages, and eventually these percentages become quite healthy sums of money. To go, yeah, I mean, I don't really want to open up about the actual numbers, but you know, like it's just crazy that you know, to just get in a single day of trading a year's worth of salary of what I did like 5 years ago. It's crazy. Anyway, are you spot buying any crypto? Yes, I am. I am spot buying crypto, altcoins, Bitcoin as well. Not now at the moment because we are at high time frame resistance. So while I am building a potential swing trade here in this region, it's at the moment a fairly low probability setup. But as if you're talking about long-term investments, yes, I've done so in January. Yeah, I have been buying a lot of Bitcoin in January. Do you hold any views on if the bottom is in, or do you think we revisit the lows? That is a good question. I get that question asked a lot, and you know my answer is always a little bit mixed. But I think personally, I think the bear market is not over yet. However, I also do think we have the potential to reach $40,000 or even $50,000 before we get the next big downtrend. That is my current stance on the super macro multi-month time frame. So yes, in my opinion, $50,000 is the most important level on the chart. If we do not reclaim that, I am still open to see lower prices. Simple as that. However, you know, even though I'm overall, I remain macro bearish, right? I am long. I'm holding spot Bitcoin, right? So don't get me wrong. I do trade the charts and not necessarily my bias. However, $50,000 is really, really big level for me. If we even manage to reach it, you know, currently we can't even get above $30,000. So we might as well, maybe we get rejected here and we get back into the range, lose $25,000 and then see the lows. If that happens, if we lose $25,000, I would say definitely the probabilities increase by a lot that we're going to revisit the lows. But if we don't, I think we're going to see higher prices first. And that is currently the case, still. Popcorn party. Bam. There we go. Hope you guys are enjoying. This is quite a good stream. Thank you for everything you do. Commentary brilliant. Nice. I think I'm gonna do this more often then. It's kind of an experiment. Overall, I think people liked it that I put on the announcement. So of Jerome Powell. So I think it was fun to do. I do need to. Yeah, there's a little. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. It was a nice experiment, and you know we only have this once a month anyway, or once in 2 months or something like that. So it doesn't happen. So let's go. Right, so now we're starting to fall a little bit away from that. So basically, do you see what happened? So now the story is unfolding, right? So we had a high volume candle over here. Then we had a bounce, volume decreasing, candle after candle after candle. Now we're starting to drop, despite it being on open interest. The volume is starting to increase, right? So that is not locally is not very bullish. So therefore, I expect a further drop. As I said, literally an hour ago. So that actually didn't change. Let me see. Hello, do you recommend Atos for all order flow needs, or is it better to use Exo charts? I mean, it's really personal preference. The good thing about Atos, and in terms of crypto, you can also trade stocks on there, but for crypto is actually free. For me, I don't really particularly like the interface very much. The numbers, the way that order flow is being presented is for me, it's just a little bit confusing, really. And ExoCharts is just way better. You know, it just short numbers everything. It shows me if something is in the millions or in the 100,000s. You know, it's just easier to read, and especially for scalping, that's what you need. ETH BTC TA, well, nothing changed. Ranging, so really nothing changed on Ethereum. Very quiet on Ethereum. ETH BTC. Let me just really quickly take a look at that. ETH BTC. Let me see. So really, also same story. Middle of the range, more or less, value area low again. We're just ranging. So really quiet on Ethereum, really quiet. And for that reason, it's also quiet on the altcoins overall. A few have run, but they've all pretty much retraced. So GRT, for those who have been following me for a while, know that I have one of my biggest trades ever on GRT. I bought at 3 cents, then it went to $3. So I literally did a wow, this is funny. This is very old TA. This is very old. Didn't mean to show that on stream, guys, but there you go. Transparent channel and everything. Yeah, I made a bunch of money off there. A lot of money over there. 1.618, guys. That's where I close my positions, right at the freaking top, giving me crazy gains. Yeah, so GRT, what I wanted to say is recently, obviously, GRT did a major pump, but as you can see, retraced everything. And that's with most altcoins that did well in the last few months. They've basically been retracing like crazy. So yeah, it's not the time yet. Although the potential was there, but Ethereum really needs to move, Ethereum really needs to move. Bearish CVD very locally on the 1 minute. Yeah, that is too low for me. That is too low. So what I want to see is CVD building up over time and then confirmed by changing market structure. Now, the reason why this, I think I forgot to mention that this could also be leading divergence. And the reason for that is that this was just one single candle, right? I think I know what you mean. I think I made a mistake, guys. I'm gonna have to come clean. I confused this low with this low, and I mistakenly saw this for bullish CVD. So there we go. My bad. Anyway, good decision then that we didn't took the trade. But to get back to your question, 1 minute CVD is for me not relevant because that's just too low time frame. So what I want to see is, let's say we have this low and then we are holding above this low. And then we see the CVD line crawling over time, and I'm talking about multiple time frame candles lower than this one. That can indicate potential absorption, especially if the open interest is increasing. That could potentially indicate CVD divergence, worth potentially taking trades from. However, that CVD divergence is only confirmed if you change local market structure. Only then. So I'm always saying leading until proven wrong. So you can see, guys, this is live on the stream, So in the action, I'm trying to focus on so many different things, right? I'm trying to inform you guys, trying to analyze the price action, and I'm trying to answer questions at the same time. You can see that, I need to practice that a little bit more. But anyway, hopefully that answers your question. We didn't took a trade anyway, so in the end, it doesn't really matter. But no, I never saw bearish CVD, to be fair. So I mistakenly saw it for bullish CVD. Let me see. Yeah, so I'm kind of working on that. I'm not too informed yet. So, I want to be a transparent channel and I do want to give the right information. So at the moment, I don't have any recommendations because I simply haven't really done any research yet, but I will. And then I will let you guys know what I think is a good exchange for those who can't simply make an account. Market makers are the market orders filling your limit orders. Well, depends how you look at it. Sometimes they do. And then they lose. No, just kidding. Yeah, I mean, anybody who trades at market is filling limit orders. That's just the way it works. Whether they are market makers, there's no way of telling, really, unless you have access to, let's say, level 2 or even level 3 order books. Then you can see what the source of these orders are. You can even see if they are good at placing limit orders or if they have no clue what they're doing. That requires quite a bit of experience and exposure to the information. Some places $3 a day is a lot. Yeah, I do agree. So, you know, my personal, I do want to react on that shortly, because for me, every single dollar is important. Whether that is a lot of money or a little bit of money, a dollar is a dollar. So I value $1. I value $1,000, and I value more, you know. But $1, if you can't appreciate $1, then I would say it becomes, it's like a core philosophy for me. So yes, you know, even if it's a little bit of money, it helps me to not get greedy, and that significantly helps in trading, right? So let's say if I take a small position and I only, let's say, get $25 of profits, but we are at resistance, it is very tempting to say, if you're used to trading larger, it is very tempting to say like, oh, but this is not enough for me, so you stop caring. But that at the same time, you know, shows that you got addicted to money, and that's a bad way of trading, I would say. This can get you wrecked, right? And of course, if you trade with more money, there's also more at stake. So value every dollar is definitely part of my core philosophy. So $1 is $1, right? And that can be a lot, you know. I agree. I fully agree with that. Awesome, guys. Amazing comments, guys. Amazing comments. Yeah, exactly. And just to top it off, you know, take profits, compound, and repeat. Whether you do this with a $10 position, you know, $1,000 position, a 6-figure position, 7 or 8-figure position, doesn't matter. You know, the process is and should be always the same. Right. Wow. Okay, cool, guys. I think we are going to have a potential wrap on this stream. It turned out to be a little bit of a non-event. Unfortunately, the trade setup never was given. Been multitasking quite a bit during the stream, but regardless of that, I hope you understood most of the things that I was talking about. I hope that you that I gave you some grip on how I've been looking at the markets, and you know, be the calm voice in amidst the chaos, so to speak. So yeah, you know, and in the end, you know, this is basically what how I'm trading, and how my mindset flows through the local time frames. We now have more data, so if we just, you know, see the price action for what it is. Currently, we are now locally, after we've taken out this high, we have embarked in a bearish market structure. So I do think we will, this evening, most likely, are going to take out the lows. For me, it's now getting quite late, so I'm going to stop trading for the day. I'm not going to take any more trades. So I'm done. Regardless, my alerts are set. Yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna come back to trade this for the day. So tomorrow is simply a fresh day for me. Fresh day, fresh prices. And that's the perk that you have as an intraday trader or a scalp trader, you know. If I miss this drop tonight, who cares, you know? Tomorrow I can simply come back, do my technical analysis, just pick up where I left off, find new trading opportunities, and just trade that for the day. That's the great way of doing it. So I guess let me do a short summary. Zooming out to the higher time frame, what do I overall expect on Bitcoin? Final conclusion, the lower time frames, simply range bound on the low time on the intraday time frame, very much range bound, sticking it with this range between 28,800, well, let's say $29,000 and $28,000, $1,000 range that you can look to day trade. Then we have a larger range, a sub range really going on. I would actually class it as something along the lines of this, with that $30,000, $31,000 region. You know, this region marking the top of the range, and $27,000 at the bottom of the range, where you could be looking to take more swing trades off. This is by now, by the way, a swing trading region. It has evolved into a swing trading region because this is quite a large percentage range. It's a 12% range, very suitable for swing trades. Also, each rotation just simply takes a while, takes a few days, you know, so therefore not suited for day trading. So this now has become a swing trading region, which I will be looking to trade, and I am actually trading because I am accumulating longs at the bottom. So I would love for price to come back down here, see the reaction, and that could provide me with another opportunity to add onto my long, simply trading it initially back to that $30,000 region. That's going to be my game plan. If we start, closing on the daily time frame at the very least below these levels, then I'm going to be wrong on the idea, and I'm going to have to make a new plan and rethink my my plan for what is going to come next. Overall, it's, even if I would take a loss on this trade, still not a problem at all, because after all, I would be still long from here, which is a massively profitable trade. So this trade would then maybe end up in a loss. And but that more than that is being made. I'm making up for that because I have a long open from lower, which allows me to take slightly more risky trades. Which is the reason why I've been accumulating a long position over here. So hopefully that gives you all the information that you need for the coming days to look to trade from. You've seen how I've traded the order flow, or you've seen how I've analyzed the order flow, how I have been looking for a potential trade setup. Never was given, unfortunately, within the time that I wanted to do the stream. Zoomed out to the bigger picture, gave you all an overview of what I expect on the super macro time frame, whether I'm bearish or bullish overall. I would say super high time frame, I remain bearish until $50,000 has been reclaimed. However, that level is probably going to be hit. It's going to take months, I would say, for that to be hit. So by the time, there's going to be tons of new videos out already where I will be giving my views. Locally, simply range bound, looking to trade the range. And that's it, really. That's it. So guys, I hope that you like this stream. I'm gonna call it a day. And yeah, keep an eye on this channel and my Twitter this week. It's gonna be, I'm gonna be running some announcement in the coming few weeks. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And I want to help you all get to the next level of trading. So keep an eye out on everything. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be super educational. And yeah, there's also going to be some nice surprises. So I would say like, subscribe. And with that, I'm going to say peace out, guys. See you on the next